Hi everyone, I hope you're staying safe at home. In this video, I'm going to talk about what we have done last week. We're going to talk a little bit about the online quiz 3 that you guys did last week and also the online discussion 3 and also you guys completed last week. And also I'm going to talk about what you need to complete for this week. So first of all, let's review a little bit about things you have completed last week. I think the online quiz 3 was some sort of challenging. Some students did really good. Some students like possibly didn't really have the good time to read this article that I post on Canvas. So some of the questions did not really, answer it very well. So we're gonna look at the online quiz 3 really quick and give you some idea about the answer for each questions. So first question, which of the following statements incorrectly describe the relationship between the league commissioners and board of the governor? Right, something incorrect is the commissioner is selected by owner, but has the ultimate say in the policy developments in professional sports league. So if you look at this statement, first half of the statement is correct, right? The commissioner is selected by the owners. However, the commissioner does not have the ultimate say in policy developments. The owner normally will have the discussions to talk about whether the professional sports league will need to change that policy, so update that policy, right? So that's the first question. So question number 2, and they ask you what the two basic principles introduced by David Harris' book, The League Inside the MFL. Right, so this question is actually very easy as long as you watch the lecture videos last week, so you know the answer, right? So basically, David Harris introduced the two principles. The first principle, they say the professional sports league, they're not just compete against each other, but also they collaborate with each other. Talk about professional sports team. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, in order to help the league to maximize their financial interest, a lot of time professional sports team will have to sacrifice themselves financially in order to help the league to continue to grow and develop. Right. So this is a two basic principle has been introduced by David Harris in his book. Question number 3, which of the following financial sources differentiate American professional sports league and European professional sports league? The answer is the title sponsorships of the league, right? If you watch English Premier League, you find out English Premier League has a title sponsorship, right? Barclays Bank is a title sponsors for the Premier Leagues. But when you look at professional sports league in the United States, basically all the major professional sports league, they don't sell the title sponsors for their professional league, right? Question number 4, which of the following professional sports league first introduced commissioners to oversee the league's operations? The answer is MLB. Also very straightforward. We talk about it in the lectures, and also the textbook also include that information. Question number 5, they want you to briefly explain the benefit and drawback of the reserve draft policy that has been introduced by professional sports league in the United States, right? So there are some advantages we talk about in the lectures. One of the biggest advantages really can enhance the competitive balances between the teams, right? They try to prevent the team from having all the talents, right? They try to prevent the team from keep winning, right? So make sure every team had the opportunities regardless you're coming from the bigger markets or smaller markets. So that's an advantage. But the disadvantage and the drawback problem is the tanking is become possible, right? Because professional sports league in the US are not using promotion relegations policy that has been mainly utilized in professional sports league in Europe. So tanking become possible when the team find out they have no chance to qualify for the playoff. So they would like to have has a worse position because they will give them a better opportunity, a better advantages in drafting. So this is question number 5. Question number 6 asks you to read the article. Article sort of long, got 20 pages. So the article, the question asks you what will be the fundamental differences in the sports between US and Europe. The biggest difference is US, we're using something we call educational and commercial structures and models, right? So think about how you play sport. So a lot of time you play sports starting from in high schools and or in colleges, right? So or sometimes you participate in sport in clubs, right? So those clubs are private clubs. You have to pay very high monies in order to play sports in the private clubs. So this is how U.S. organizes sports. But if you look at sports system in Europe, the people who participate in sport through clubs. Unlike the clubs in the U.S., most of the time they're private. The clubs in Europe, they're more likely to be public clubs. People participate in sport through these public clubs, and they don't have to pay a lot of money. One of the studies show in Germany, 70% of citizens in Germany, they are the members of the local sports club, right? They only need to pay 70 to 75 euros to become the membership of the clubs, so they can use all the service. 75 euro per year, right? So very cheap, right? You can use all the service during the entire year. So a lot of those sports clubs in Europe, they are funded by government. So they give people the opportunity to participate in sport, develop that sport skills. So those are basic difference. If you look at the fundamental differences in the models of sport in the US and in Europe. So this is quiz 3. The online discussions. So online discussion 3 is also asks you to read a case study, and then you will have to go and answer those 3 questions, right? First question is very easy. What factor do you believe that really helped MLS establish themselves as a very stable soccer league in the North America? Obviously, the MLS is the best soccer league, so the only professional soccer products available in the market. So that's actually one of the reasons, right? And also in the last couple of years, they're expanding very quickly, and also the popularity of the sport is also growing really faster in the US. So that also give MLS the opportunity to develop themselves. The second question is what are major challenges that the MLS face in upcoming years? There are a lot of challenges MLS is actually facing, right? Unlike other 4 major professional sports leagues, or MLS is not just facing the competition internally, but also facing the competition externally, because professional soccer league in Europe has been developed for many years. They have huge fan base, have great reputation, top stars all playing in professional soccer leagues in Europe. So it's more likely for the professional soccer league in Europe to be broadcast internationally, getting international fan base, getting international resources, the financial resources in particular. So that's the biggest challenge for the MLS. They're not just facing the competition internally, but also facing the competition externally, right? So they have to compete for talents, compete for financial resources, compete for international markets. So MLS is actually facing a lot of challenges. Currently, MLS has been developed pretty steady. More and more cities want to have the MLS teams in that cities. So by 2023, they're planning to have 28 teams. They're more likely to expand it to 30 teams in the futures. So what will be the strategy that MLS can use in the futures to develop themselves? Right, students come up with a lot of great idea. A lot of students mentioned that we need to develop a young talent. Right, some students mentioned we could introduce a 21 years old player policy just every games. You need to send at least one 21 years old player to play. They can really help the young player to grow, to develop their skills. Some students also mentioned about we need to keep the best soccer players, U.S. soccer player play in the U.S. league, not play in the league in Europe. Right, some students also mentioned about we need to recruit some high-profile international players, stars. We also need to not just recruit players, but also need to recruit coaches, teach, learn from those coaches. Right, so there are a lot of different ideas that we can come up with. Also, the big discussion is how those salary cap, the policy has impacted the growth of the MLS. We know MLS, because of the salary cap, so will not be able to pay player a lot of money. The advantage of having a salary cap is we can make sure the team are not overspend. they can make sure they can enhance their financial stabilities. But the problem for having a salary cap policy is you'll not be able to attract the best players that play in the European soccer leagues. So that's one of the biggest challenges that MLS is currently facing, is how they're able to use like salary cap policies on one hand can enhance the financial stability of the team. At the same time, to also be able to attract the best players around the world playing at the MLS. Right, so that's something we have to consider about it. MLS have to consider about it. Okay, so this is about the online quiz 3. I know last week you spent a lot of time doing a lot of reading. So for this week, it's actually easier. So for this week, you only need to do 1 quizzes and 1 extra credit discussions. This week, we're going to talk about how professional individual sport has been developed. We're going to talk about professional tennis and also professional golf. So I will strongly recommend you to go and complete the readings and watch the lectures, videos, and then complete the quiz. The quiz this week is due on Wednesday, not Friday. Right? In the past, quiz are due Friday. I hope this week quiz are due Wednesday, because you don't have a lot of reading to do this week. You don't have a lot of video to watch this week. So you should be able to finish that on Wednesday, and then you could have your weekend off. You can do something else, maybe catch up with other courses. In addition to complete the online quiz 4, another task I hope that you can participate is online discussion. This extra credit, I'm giving you 5 points extra credits. So this online discussion, I want you to share with me and share with the rest of the class about your experience, how you cope with the COVID-19. COVID-19 has a huge impact to our life, not just to sports industries, but also to everyone, including myself, including youth. I know a lot of students are dealing with a lot of difficulty and challenges. So I would like to use this extra credit opportunity to get to know a little bit more about what kind of difficulty that you have been through. And also I hope that I can use this opportunity to know, is there anything that we as a faculty can do to help you to go through these difficulties? So I have 4 questions. You don't need to answer 4 questions. You only need to answer 3 questions. So first question, I want to know, how has COVID-19 impact you as a student? You can talk a little bit about your online learning experience, what challenges you have in the online learnings. Your part-time jobs may have been impacted, your internship opportunity may be impacted, your personal life may be also be impacted. So I want you to go and share that story with us. And how did you handle and cope with those new challenges in life? And the second question I want you to know, I want to know a little bit is about, what's your biggest concern right now at this moment? Has COVID-19 really impact your career plans in the future? And also I want to know, what's the biggest challenge for you on online teachings? And also the last question I'm asking here is, I want you to tell me what kind of support and advice do you need from university, from our SLAM departments, from faculty like me or other faculty members and SLAMs. So how can we help you to go through those difficulties? Let me know. And some of the very useful information that you share with me, I may also share with other faculty, particularly SLAM faculty, and let them know the challenges that you guys are dealing with as well. I hope we can work together to help you to deal with those difficulties. For this extra credits online discussion, you only need to answer. The due date is on Wednesday. You only need to answer those questions, share your experience with me. You don't need to interact with others, but if you want to interact with others, you can also interact with each other and give your classmates, your friends some support. And hopefully we are able to go through these difficulties together. And hopefully in the future we'll be able to meet in person on campus. So this is something you need to do. 2 things. First is online quiz. The due date is Wednesday. Second thing is extra credit online discussions. As long as you provide solid answers, you'll be able to get 5 extra credit in this class, which can help you improve your grade in this class. Again, any questions in the future, email me and let me know. All right, I will see you guys next time. Have a great week. Bye.